Welcome, everyone, to episode 141 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random, but this time, a guest-requested game. And decide, Tom, well, is Fuga, Melodies of Steel, worth our time?
I need to know more about the melody and the steel, and then we can talk about it.
That's right. And joining us today is our lovely guest, prestigious Twitter aficionado here, Aaron from the Super Pod Saga. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us today.
No, thank you. I'm glad to be here. This sounds like fun already.
Yeah, well, we try to keep it light here. You know, we can't do everything serious like this game, which was developed by CyberConnect 2 and came out back in July of 2021. Now, Tom, how big is this game for you?
Well, on the Series S, it clocked in at 1.6 gigabytes, but I see some interesting things on your end.
Yes, it was a whopping 0 because I played this on Xbox Cloud. So that was
cheating.
Nice.
Cheater.
Well, okay. I did make sure to make a note, though. If you're playing this on the PC, it is 1.3 gigabytes on the PC. Okay. Now, Aaron, where did you actually play this on?
I first played it when it came to Game Pass. I had always intended to get it on Switch because it's been out on there for a while, but it's like $40 or $50, which is way more than I was willing to pay for it.
Okay.
But
right, spoilers, that's okay. But moving on.
Well, it's hard to beat the low price of $0 on Game Pass.
It is. It's so hard to beat that.
This is so true. Game Pass. When are you going to come to our show and talk to us about that?
Hallelujah, Game Pass.
And what kind of game is this, though, Tom?
Well, I have turn-based strategy RPG.
Okay, Aaron, what do you think this kind? What is this game? What kind of game is this, Tom? Aaron,
it's tough. I'd say like visual novels / turn-based RPG.
Okay.
Something like that, possibly.
Interesting. I just put JRPG with roguelike elements, ?
That sounds right, too.
So
it doesn't feel like a JRPG to me. I see where you're getting that from.
Yeah.
But meh.
I was struggling with that, but that's all right. It is. I wrote it down, and that's what I'm sticking to.
And now you're committed to it.
I am committed. And we are committing to that game loop. What is that?
I have complete tactical turn-based tank battles to level up your team and advance the plot.
Okay. I put
defeat. You disagree?
No. I put defeat your enemies, then collect parts to upgrade your tank, to then defeat more enemies.
That is a little bit more loopy than what I wrote.
Loopy.
That's true. Aaron, what do you think the game loop is here?
Have you guys just put like just 1 hour into it? I've put like maybe 5 hours into it. So we've
only put an hour. That's the premise of the show. Aaron, welcome to the show.
I should have known that. My bad. Yeah, to me, it's like you go through the little map, fight enemies, run over boxes that heal you, I guess. And then you talk to allies and fish and stuff and cook, and then you fight some more, and then just kind of rinse and repeat.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
So, a little bit more closer to your description, Chris, than my description. It sounds like.
Yeah. I guess I won that tiebreaker.
Still pretty loopy though.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is loopy. And do we like those things in that loop?
Are you saying the whole game or just the loop itself?
Well. Just, I don't know. Let's talk about it. What do we like about this game?
I appreciate that the gameplay started immediately and there isn't because RPGs do this to you where it's like, you got to sit through an hour of cutscene. Not here. You're right into the game right away. So yay.
Oh yeah. I agree. And I actually wrote that too. That was my first thing. It just, you literally start the game and you are right there getting into it. And this game has some very interesting mechanics. Aaron, I don't know if you want to talk about them here because you've put in more time than us. So
yeah, the mechanics don't get, I guess, like a whole lot more complicated than what you guys have probably seen. It's pretty much like all the same, except for like maybe you get more party members that have different abilities, but that's pretty much it, and it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, and it's, I guess, to your point, Tom, it is kind of like a turn-based strategy where you are kind of arranging your party members in a way that when you're having your particular battle, you know, the enemies are going to have particular or like weaknesses and stuff like that you want to make sure if you're not, if you're going to win, you got to make sure that they're arranged in a proper way that you can lay the smackdown on the other tank and stuff like that. So
yeah, I liked that aspect of it. Like I liked the tactical nature of the combat. I think it also becomes tactical in terms of who you're going to upgrade, what kind of relationships you want to, you have a limited amount of resources to spend on everything, whether it's upgrading a character or changing the relationship status between different characters. You only have so much juice to squeeze out, every go. I think the tutorial does a good job of teaching you all of that in a relatively short amount of time. And the interface is laid out, I think, in a very intuitive and easy to use sort of way. So I appreciated all of that. Like if you're going to be a tactical game where I'm going to have to make all these choices, like please explain to me how to do all that as efficiently as possible. And this does that.
Now, it's been a very long time since I've played this game, so I apologize to everyone that might be fans of it. It kind of reminded me of Advance Wars. Or am I completely wrong in that comparison?
No, that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair because you're like, because like when you're in combat in like Advanced Wars, it kind of gives you like those like close up views of like the tanks and helicopters and stuff, and it does like the same kind of thing in Fuga, where it's like you only have the tank, but then you're blasting apart like helicopters and like metal rhinoceroses and stuff.
I don't think we got to a metal rhinoceros.
No, but the enemy types, I totally see what you're saying. It does kind of give you an Advance Wars vibe. If you had more stuff going on your side, then it definitely would look that way.
True. The one thing we didn't touch on is the other mechanic in this game, which is the soul cannon. Which is quite the interesting mechanic, I'd say. And they introduced that obviously in the first hour. It is it's quite the interesting one where you can take a party member, throw them into a basically a kamikaze chair, and they just their soul gets sucked out of them and becomes like a big Kamehameha or something like that.
Yeah, ultimate finisher style,
and wipe out the entire army or whoever it is that you're fighting. So that's cool, but also pretty heavy because guess what, people? You're playing as children.
Animal children.
Children.
I like our animal children. I think the art and the characters design was like, it's cute. They're very likable.
Which is, I guess, even more makes it even more heavy to realize that you're sending ththese children to their deaths. It's like, here you go, child, sweet looking dog or cat, or I think that's the way.
Basically.
Like, yeah, it's like, here you go.
They just want their parents back.
They just want their parents back.
Parents back, dude.
No, get in this chair and go die. Like for everyone else's sake. It's pretty heavy. It's a pretty heavy thing to think about.
And this heaviness lives in your likes, Chris.
Well, I mean, in a way, because it's interesting because like you don't really expect that to happen, and I'm like, whoa, like this was a bit of a surprise in terms of what the themes of this game was like. And a good thing, though, I like about this game is that there is a lot of dialogue, but there is an option to auto proceed or skip dialogue.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not constantly mashing a particular button. You could just have it go through its thing, which is nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
Read to me. I like having books read to me. Exactly. That's why I love audiobooks.
Exactly.
Tucked in at night and everything.
Yeah, exactly. With the little dog and cat people.
Yeah. Yes.
And children.
What else did you like, Tom?
I think the music did a good job of matching the tone of each like scene and sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes like we've played games and the music doesn't exactly sync up to what's going on, but I think in this game it did. So I appreciated that.
Yeah.
And you beat me to the punch there on that option to have the text automatically skip. That was in my list as well.
Yeah. The last thing for me is I like the way that I like the moments after battles where you get a chance to talk to your characters and in that way level up and create those bonds between them, because that allows you to then create basically new attacks with them. So that's kind of neat. And I didn't realize that the way that you arrange them is different attacks too. So like even though you created a bond with one person, if one of them is like the primary character in that slot versus them being the secondary. It's two different attacks. So I thought that was kind of neat, nice little touch. So Aaron, any other things about this game?
I'm a sucker for cooking mechanics, so I really love that there's cooking in it. Well, I mean, barely, because you just select what meal you want to make and then they make it for you. But would you think I was lying if I said this is like the fourth game in a series, or like
this is part of the Cooking Mama series?
No. I guess this doesn't have anything to do with like likes or dislikes either, but it's like CyberConnect has this long-running Little Tail Bronx series, which has what else is in there? Sola to Robo and a few other games, but I mean, that aside, I can't think of anything else that I like that you guys haven't already mentioned. Like, the cast of characters are like, they're all super unique and fun to listen to and talk to. And I guess there's all sorts of other stuff, or all sorts of other little activities you can do during intermissions. Like, you can go fishing for parts that you use for like upgrading your cannons and stuff. You can cook, garden, do your laundry, I guess.
Oh wow. Okay.
Have you guys done like the dungeons, like the little dungeons yet?
No.
Oh, those are pretty cool too. You can do dungeons.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah, there you go.
And
now.
Oh.
Yeah, we were both thinking the same thing. We're in simpatico here.
Yeah.
I'm going to start talking about things I didn't like, Chris, and then you can follow suit. And I'm going to start by talking about the cost of firing that soul cannon. You're a monster for putting that in your likes. That's a definite dislike for me.
Okay. That's fair.
It's a terrible cost.
It is.
You have these super cute characters, and then the plot is heart wrenching. All they want is to get back to their families, and we're offing characters to so that some of the kids can make it home. It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean it's that for the greater good, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Also, there was swearing in the game, which I was surprised by. Yeah, like in the text there were like
I don't think I noticed it, but interesting.
Yeah, not like F-bombs, but things I wouldn't say here.
Okay. That's fair.
And it just seemed really out of place to me. Like, I was like, these are a bunch of kids. I understand that they're in a challenging situation, but why are they swearing? Like, I don't know.
Tom was clutching his pearls when he.
I was clutching my pearls. I was thinking, cute little anime children. Why are they cursing?
Hey, they're getting strapped to a kamikaze chair. Let's start with that first. All right.
That's not even when they're swearing.
That's true. That's true. They should be swearing, right? But they didn't even know. That's the thing. It's like, get in there. It's like, what? Like, at least I don't know who did you pick for that particular?
The main character.
Oh, you did.
Oh, dang. Oh, really?
Yeah, because he's 100% in that situation. He's 100% the one who's supposed to do it.
Wow.
I picked the big kid.
Yeah, of course you did, because he looks like he's the most disposable one. You monster.
I picked the youngest one. I picked the little baby one.
Oh no! That's even worse.
I feel like a monster now.
Well, look. I have my reason is, first of all, the kid's always hungry. There's gonna be a point where the
drain on the resources.
Yeah, he's gonna be a drain on the resources. Like, you had your leader that you just killed, so now there's like no one to help.
Yeah, spoiler: the game ends after I made that decision.
Yeah. That would be hilarious, actually, if it did. It's like credits roll and stuff. But just spoiler, because it is the first hour. You do get to roll back, and that's a mechanic too. The kind of the rolling back of time, which we didn't really touch on, which I thought was a little confusing. I thought it was a kind of a cop out, but
I did too. So, because it says this choice cannot be undone, and then it immediately undoes it.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. That was annoying. And the other thing I found annoying was the voice acting, really it was just grunts and like maybe one or two words. Everyone, like, I get it. I guess so that you as a person can relate to them in some way with that voice, but it was still like, I don't know. Do you prefer this over the, that generic beeping noise and stuff like that?
Typewritery sound.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm conflicted about it. I feel like I hate when it does and then it's like 3 paragraphs of text. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know. At that point, I kind of feel like it should just be the typewriter-y sound or
Mm.
beeping or something.
Like the banjo kazooie, like
Yeah.
like.
Yes.
Oh, I don't
Or
know. I
like
think that would
I
be
know, I'm
pretty
just joking. I
the
don't miss that
sim
at all.
talk.
Sim talk, yeah, dude.
Do you prefer that, Aaron, or do you prefer the typewriter?
It's tough, man. That's a tough call because, like Tom said, it kind of takes you out of it. Like it just kind of feels like they just slapped it in there and like didn't
Mhm.
pay attention. But then at the same time, like the typewriter, I guess the typewriter kind of would fit, but sometimes it's just so boring to just listen to like like it's tough. It's tough to say.
Yeah. Well, it's to whoever's liking, but that's what this game does. It is grunting for your pleasure. And the other thing I don't like about this game, though, is it is literally on rails.
Yeah.
The entire game, you know where you're going, where the destination is, and I don't feel like there's any, and I could be wrong. I mean, Aaron, you could tell me if I'm wrong. Like there's any way to change your path. It's just literally where what happens, and you're just going that way. That's it. So
Yeah, it feels very like Mario Brothers level 1-1. You just proceed from left of screen to right of screen, the end.
There
But,
are some where you can choose, like it'll have like a normal route where you can fight more enemies and stuff like that.
Oh,
And there's
okay.
like a safer route where it'll have like less enemies and more like healing and stuff like that. But
Okay.
you know, of course, the less enemies you fight, the less XP you get, and like the
Mm,
the less powerful you'll be, I guess.
Right.
But
Sure.
they do branch a little bit more as
Okay.
you go into it.
nice, cool.
That's good. Good to hear.
Yeah. What about
I
you,
have
Tom?
some more beef. That auto text for
Mhm.
me, I had to turn it off because sometimes it just kind of went too fast. Now I understand I could have slowed it down because it gives you, it's on like normal, but you can make it fast or slow. But I ended up just going to the point where I just hit A to proceed it because I don't know. That felt more comfortable to me, especially once you get past the main thrust of that initial dialogue.
Yeah.
And you're like playing the game, then it's not, you're not hit with so much dialogue that it becomes annoying.
Okay.
At least I didn't think so.
Fair, right?
Yeah. Yep.
The other thing I didn't like, and I guess it's supposed to teach you a lesson, but the fail to show mechanic, which is in this case the soul can, right? You get to this particular boss or this particular battle where you are not meant to win.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think this is a little frustrating, but I get it maybe in a way just to, again, to show like if you're in a desperate situation where you're not going to win this, you have an option to kill one of your characters and use them as a final kind of hurrah, which is interesting. And Aaron, like how many characters can you actually have? Like at least from what you play.
I guess like in battle, like I guess the ones you start off with,
Mhm.
I forget how many. I think there's like what, 6.
I think so. Yeah.
Those,
Because there's three cannons and there are two
Yeah.
people per cannon.
yeah, you're still limited to 6, but like you get more characters as the story goes on. So you can swap ones out. Like I swapped out the fat kid for this like other edgier kid because of his like co-pilot ability thing. But yeah, it's still just 6.
Okay.
Like 6 active.
Yeah,
In the
And
combat.
anybody else sits out, basically.
basically, yep.
Got it. Okay, cool. The last thing I have for this is there is no manual save option. At least that I saw. But
So yeah.
I think it's like you complete a combat like thing, and then I think you go over one of those like things where that gives you HP, and I think maybe it saves. I'm not entirely sure, but correct me if I'm wrong, Tom. If you saw a save spot,
I did not see a manual save.
which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Maybe it's to give you the pressure of these particular scenarios and stuff like that.
Could be.
So, are we all good here, or we get to our other thoughts?
I wanted to comment very briefly that some of these character names are really dumb. One of the main villains or whatever, his name is Pretzel. How am I supposed to take somebody seriously if his name is Pretzel?
That's because they're animals or whatever. I don't know.
Well, it's also like a fictional World War II against the Burmans, and it's like,
Yes,
right.
and they're all just Doberman pinchers.
Yeah, it's very on the Doberman's nose kind of thing, but so be it. But yeah, Other thoughts here, guys. I will say How Long to Beat says this game takes about 19 hours to complete. And like I mentioned, this game is available on Xbox Cloud, Xbox Play Anywhere, and it's got the cloud save, so you can carry that around anywhere you want. And it's got touch controls too on your mobile device.
Hey.
Pretty cool. Pretty dang cool.
Well, Aaron beat me to a little bit of this, which is it is the fourth title in the Little Tail Bronx series, which includes Tail Concerto and Solito Robo. I found out that there are 12 chapters total in this game. I finished the first chapter and like right at my hour mark. So I don't know how that works with your 19 hours, but I guess some of the other chapters are longer.
Yeah.
It also has multiple endings, which makes sense because you can off characters, so they're not going to be there for some of the endings, right? So, and there is a Fuga 2, and I heard that it is going to be a trilogy, and so they're working on the third one.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot more to it if you like this one.
That is interesting to think about because, like, I wonder how they do the second one in terms of like characters. Do the characters cross? Is it cross progression or something like that?
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
So,
yeah,
I hope
you're
so.
losing characters unless the second one is set so far into the future that the original cast doesn't matter.
Yeah,
not sure.
That's a possibility. That is a possibility. So, speaking of possibilities, is this a game that we are keeping on our respective hard drives or throwing it into that soul cannon and shooting it out of itself?
How would that even work?
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you, at least for me, I like the idea of making the hard choice, like in theory.
Mm-hmm.
But the practice of selecting a character to perma-die is not something that I look forward to at all. So no, thank you. Plus, I'll be honest, the combat didn't really grab me. Like some of the tactical choice stuff sounded kind of cool, but like it did kind of feel very boring and samey to me. And I'm a little nervous because Aaron's like, oh yeah, it's just kind of more of the same for the next 4 hours. What did you guys think?
Well, Aaron, you totally went past the hour, so it got you enough to get you past that first hour. And you said you played about 5. Is it still something you want to keep playing though?
If I can keep myself from playing other games, I'll eventually get back to it. Because like Sea of Stars came out, and then Atomic Crops was on sale. I was playing Atomic Crops for like 5 hours the other day. I'll get back to it, but I like it. I love they have adorable little food names. There's a character named Fondant. There's a character named what is it? Marzipan, Brioche.
Brioche. Oh, geez.
Yeah,
all right.
I like it.
Well, I gotta say, I was hesitant going into this as this being just another standard JRPG, but there was definitely some elements. I guess I'm using my like chaotic evil or whatever in this game that got me intrigued with a fairly short experience. So the game is 19 hours, which isn't terrible. I thought if this is like a 40-hour game, I probably wouldn't keep playing it. But the fact that this game is fairly short and it's on xCloud, like mobile, like with touch controls, I think I'm going to keep playing it.
Yeah, I think mobile would be the way to play this.
Yeah.
If push came to shove for me.
Yeah. All right. So those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us and say hello on Twitter at TC1H1D or shoot us an email at outlook.com. Check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And if you're watching this on YouTube, send us a comment down below and maybe we'll try to respond, because we do that every once in a while. And 1H1D is part of that QTV network. If you like gaming podcasts and any other cool content, check it all out at quitthebuild.com/network. Now, before we let you go, Aaron, there's 2 things we got to do.
Yes.
1, we got to find out what we're playing next. And then 2, we need to know where you are on the internet. But first, let's find out what the surprising button has for us in store. Here we go.
No whammies, no whammies.
No whammies. But we got The Wandering Village game preview.
What the heck is that?
No, I don't know.
I don't know. I know the image of it looks like there's maybe a town on the back of a creature.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it. I've seen it pitched to me on the Game Pass before, but I have not downloaded it. So
well, guess what, Tom? You're about to download it. Now, Aaron, again, thank you so much for coming here on the show. Please let all of our listeners know where they can find you.
But yeah, you can find all of our stuff at superpodsaga.com, a big old one-stop shop of everything. Superpod Saga, previous episodes, our blog that we seem to only do like once a month, our social medias and everything like that. But then yeah, our show is kind of like your guys is we every episode, well, I guess that's everybody's show, every episode is something new. Ours is just like, instead of doing like one game, we'll talk about one topic, and then we'll have different picks for the topic, and then we'll just goof around and joke around and hang out. Yeah, superpodsaga.com.
Yep, had the opportunity to be on this show. Thanks so much for having me there. And yeah, it's a good time. Check them out. And yeah, that is it for this episode. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.